My stepmother accidentally destroyed my late mom's wedding dress that I was saving for my own big day. This happened right after I agreed to let her use my beach house for her anniversary celebration. A house she didn't know was facing a serious sewage problem I hadn't gotten around to mentioning. Her picture-perfect party was literally destined to be full of ... Well, you'll see. My mother, Eleanor, passed away from cancer when I was 16. Before she left us, she made my Aunt Carol promise to keep her wedding dress safe for me. It was a stunning vintage piece from the early 90s, featuring intricate lace and tiny pearls she'd painstakingly hand-sewn herself. I have a cherished photo of her on my phone, twirling in the dress, absolutely radiant. That picture has been my lock screen for years. Every time I see it, I recall her saying, "Some things are truly made with love." You can feel it in every stitch. She spent 6 months adding those pearls, one by one, often while watching old episodes of Friends on our ancient VHS tapes. My dad, Robert, remarried 3 years after Mum died. His new wife, Brenda, his ... Well, she constantly tries too hard to project the image of a perfect wife and mother, often subtly implying she does it better than Mum ever could. She loves posting staged family photos on Instagram, usually with captions about blended family blessings and being a bonus mom, despite me telling her multiple times I'm uncomfortable with that term. Last Thanksgiving, she even created a TikTok about healing broken families, using our photos without my consent. I only found out when my college roommate sent me the link. Last month, I got engaged to James. When I shared the news, Brenda immediately began planning our wedding on her Pinterest boards. Ignoring my wishes for a small, private ceremony, she created an entire board called Modern Bride, Modern Life, and shared it with practically everyone in her online mom group. I could tolerate most of that, but what she did next was something else entirely. The dress was being stored safely at my mum's best friend, Ivy's house, properly preserved in a special heirloom box. Yesterday, Brenda offered to help by picking up the dress since she was in the area and bringing it to my place. I was on a FaceTime call with my best friend, Chloe. When Brenda arrived, she carried the box casually, almost like a bag of groceries. She set it down on my kitchen counter, right next to an open bottle of red wine. I remember thinking that was odd, as Brenda exclusively drinks white wine, claiming red stains her expensive dental veneers. Then, she insisted on opening the box right there, even though I suggested we wait and do it properly later, perhaps without Carol present. You can probably guess what happened next. As she was accidentally pulling the dress out, her elbow happened to knock over the wine bottle. The entire contents splashed directly onto the delicate dress. But here's what really struck me. Her reaction. She didn't panic. She didn't rush to blot or clean it. She just stood there for a second with this weird little smile before launching into her dramatic "oh no" performance. It reminded me of those cringeworthy videos online where people fake reactions. Chloe was still on FaceTime and saw the whole thing. She swears she saw Brenda's hand move slightly towards the wine bottle just before it fell, but the video quality wasn't great, so we can't be absolutely certain. Still, Chloe immediately started recording her screen because, as she put it, something just felt off. I called Dad crying, and his response was predictably dismissive. "Honey, it was just an accident. Brenda feels terrible. We can buy you any dress you want." He just doesn't understand that it wasn't just about the dress itself. It was about the last tangible piece of my mum I had specifically for my wedding day. This morning, Brenda had the audacity to send me a link to some generic $300 dress from a discount bridal store with the message, "This would look so much better on you anyway." Then she posted a lengthy Facebook status about how accidents happen for a reason, and sometimes we need to let go of the old to embrace the new. She even tagged me in it, but I blocked her before I could see the comments. Then, just like that, She had the nerve to ask if she and Dad could use my beach house for their anniversary celebration next month. She knows it's the only significant thing I inherited from my mum's side of the family. A little cottage on the coast that Mum's parents left me. Brenda has been trying to convince me to sell it ever since she married Dad. She even had a real estate friend accidentally list it online once. So, I replied, sure, of course, with a smile I think even she would appreciate. Because what Brenda doesn't know is that I got a call from my handyman, Mark, last week about a serious septic system issue that needs immediate repair. He sent me photos and detailed messages showing the problems. I just haven't had the time to deal with it yet. And honestly, I might be just too busy to mention it to her before her big party. She's already posting about her perfect beach house anniversary celebration on Instagram, complete with details about rented furniture and a hired photographer. Update 1. Thanks, everyone, for the incredible support on my last post. It genuinely helped me get through the past few days. I've been hesitant to post this update because I wanted to be absolutely sure about what I found out. So, here's what's happened since then. After my last post, Ivy, Mum's friend who was storing the dress, called me sounding quite uncomfortable. She said she'd been reviewing her Ring doorbell footage from that day because something had been bothering her. Turns out, Brenda didn't just show up once to pick up the dress. The camera caught her doing a drive-by of Ivy's house around 8:30 a.m., circling the block twice. Ivy only noticed because her neighbor had texted her about a car driving unusually slowly past their houses. She didn't think much of it at the time. When Brenda came back at 2:30 p.m. for the actual pickup, she was carrying a shopping bag. While it's not concrete evidence of anything malicious, watching her carefully transfer something small from the bag into her purse before ringing the doorbell just feels ... off. The more I watch the footage, the more deliberate everything seems. My stepsister, Jessica, Brenda's daughter, has been texting me little bits of information, but she's clearly scared of getting too involved. She mentioned that Brenda had been weirdly fixated on my engagement announcement, spending hours on wedding planning websites even before I'd said anything about wanting to use Mum's dress. I wasn't sure I was going to pursue my suspicions until I met Aunt Carol for coffee yesterday. She had borrowed Dad's old laptop to do their taxes. She's been helping them with finances since Mum passed. She wanted to show me something she found while organizing their digital receipts. There was a purchase from a large retail chain. Timestamp early morning on the day of the incident. The items listed were a bottle of red wine, the exact brand that got spilled, some heavy-duty cleaning supplies, and one of those large plastic drop cloths people use for painting. Remember, Brenda usually only buys white wine. She constantly complains about how red wine might stain her veneers. The receipt timestamp was 6:45 a.m. When I showed Dad the receipt, he got really quiet, not angry, just ... quiet. He kept rubbing his wedding ring. His first wedding ring, the one he still wears on his right hand. Finally, he spoke, his voice low. I didn't want to see it before, but ... there's been a pattern. I also have the screen recording Chloe took during our FaceTime call, but the video quality is too poor to definitively prove anything. Still, I'm keeping it, along with all the other documentation. Dad then told me about how last year's accidental donation of Mum's cookbooks wasn't accidental at all. He'd found them boxed up and clearly labeled for donation weeks before Brenda claimed she mistakenly included them in a charity pickup. He didn't say anything at the time because he thought maybe I wouldn't notice they were gone. The conversation with Dad was heavy. He didn't cry or make dramatic promises. He just sat there, looking at his hands and said, I messed up. Didn't I? I let her do this. It was worse than if he'd gotten angry or emotional. Meanwhile, Brenda has been acting like absolutely nothing happened. She keeps sending me links to new dresses, each one with a message about how it would be so much more you than my mum's outdated dress. The beach house situation is still hanging over everything. She's already created a Facebook event for their anniversary party. 35 people confirmed attending so far, with more SVPs still coming in. She keeps posting about her perfect beach getaway and tagging party rental companies in her Instagram stories. Yesterday, she sent me a long text about table arrangements and asked if the house has enough bathrooms for all the guests. I still haven't mentioned what Mark the handyman told me about the septic system. The video he sent me last week shows it's actually getting worse. You can clearly see water backing up in the yard after it rains. He said it needs fixing before any large gatherings, but I just keep forgetting to bring it up whenever Brenda calls. Jessica has been staying at her friend's house more often lately. She says the atmosphere at home is getting weird. Brenda has been extra nice to her, buying her expensive gifts and offering to take her on spa days. Jessica thinks she's trying to keep her quiet about something, but she's not sure what. The dress preservation specialist finally got back to me today. They examined the dress. They said the wine stain was unusually concentrated in one area, like it had been poured rather than spilled. They also noticed some small snags in the lace that happened before the wine incident, likely from someone handling the dress roughly, while it was still in the preservation box. I've been looking at that last photo I have of Mom in the dress. There's this little pearl detail on the sleeve that she used to say took her 3 nights to sew on while watching old episodes of Seinfeld. That part's completely dissolved now from the wine. It feels targeted, you know. Edit. A lot of you are asking what I'm planning to do about the beach house party. Honestly, I'm just going to let things play out naturally. The septic system is what it is. Edit 2. For those asking about the dress, yes, I'm keeping all the specialist documentation. No, I'm not pursuing legal action yet. Some things just have a way of working themselves out. Edit 3. Dad just texted asking to come over tomorrow. He says he found some old photos of Mom he wants me to have. Maybe he's finally ready to really talk about everything. Update 2. Thanks for all the messages checking in. A lot has happened this week, and I wanted to update you all on the beach house situation. So, here's where things stand. Brenda is planning what she keeps calling an intimate gathering, though her guest list has somehow grown to 35 people. She texted me this morning asking about logistics, parking, how many cars can fit in the driveway, and the bathroom situation. There are 2 bathrooms, right? That should be enough. I keep thinking about saying something about the septic system. Mark, my regular handyman, sent me another text yesterday with a photo of the backyard after the rain. You can see the water pooling in places it shouldn't. And he said the smell is becoming noticeable. His exact text was, "Hey, wanted to follow up about that septic estimate. Really needs addressing before any big gatherings. Getting worse with the rain." Mark explained that while the septic system has ongoing, underlying issues, the problems become much more pronounced during rain, and would definitely be catastrophic with heavy usage from a large gathering. Dad stopped by yesterday. He's been quieter since everything with the dress happened, spending more time at the house he shared with Mom before Brenda. He sat at my kitchen counter looking through some old beach house photos he found in a drawer. "Remember when the shower broke that one summer?" he said, a small smile on his face. "Your mum made us all use the outdoor hose for 2 days. She said it was camping." Then he got this look on his face and asked, "Should I be worried about anything with the house for the party?" I just shrugged and said everything was fine. He studied me for a minute, then nodded slowly. I think he knows something's up. But he's not asking directly. Jessica's been texting me updates about Brenda's preparations. Nothing crazy, just standard party stuff. She ordered sun decorations online, string lights, some beach-themed centerpieces, and she's having the event catered by a local deli. Jessica sent me a photo of all the party supplies spread out on their dining room table. Mum's actually being kind of normal about this. She wrote, almost makes me feel bad about what might happen, almost. The weird part is how Brenda's been acting toward me lately. She's trying really hard to be nice. Sending casual texts about the party plans, asking my opinion on little details. Almost like she's including me. Yesterday, she even sent a message saying she hoped I'd be there to celebrate with them. It would almost feel genuine if I couldn't still picture that little smile when she spilled the wine on Mom's dress. I did check out her Facebook page through Jessica's account, since she blocked me after the dress incident. She's keeping it pretty low-key. Just a few posts about looking forward to a beautiful celebration with some beach emojis. Nothing to over the top, which honestly makes me more suspicious. Mark sent another update this morning. The septic company gave him an estimate for the repairs. It's expensive, but that's not even the main issue. They said it needs immediate attention, especially with heavy use. He forwarded me a photo showing where the ground is starting to sink a bit near the tank. His message was pretty clear. This is going to be a problem with 30+ people. I keep picking up my phone to warn Brenda, but then I remember little things. Like how she accidentally donated Mum's cookbooks last year, or how Mum's jewelry seems to disappear whenever Brenda reorganizes things. Or that satisfied look in her eyes when the wine spilled exactly where it would do the most damage to Mom's dress. Jessica came over for coffee this morning. She was helping Brenda pack supplies for the party and found the receipt for that bottle of red wine in Brenda's purse. You know what's weird? She said. Mum never drinks red wine. Says it stains her teeth. But she specifically bought that bottle the morning before going to get the dress. The party's this Saturday. Brenda texted asking if I could leave the key under the mat on Friday so they can set up early. She wants to arrange the furniture and set up a drink station near the downstairs bathroom. I replied with a simple, sure, no problem, and turned off my notifications. The septic issue isn't my fault. I didn't break it. I didn't make it worse. It's just unfortunate timing that it's happening now. At least, that's what I keep telling myself. Edit. Jessica just sent a photo of Brenda's party outfit. It's all white. Because of course it is. Update 3. So, the beach house party happened yesterday. And it went exactly as expected. Though the aftermath is proving to be more intense than I anticipated. I drove by around noon when guests were starting to arrive. Classic setup. White chairs, flowers, catering tables. Brenda was there wearing this expensive white dress, directing people where to put things. The problems started slowly. Jessica texted me around 1:30. Bad smell in the backyard. Mum's getting annoyed. Then, downstairs toilet won't flush properly by 2 p.m. Both bathrooms were having issues. People kept asking about the smell, but Brenda was still trying to maintain control, telling everyone it was probably just low tide. Around 2:30, my neighbor called. Hey, there's something really wrong with your yard. Water's coming up everywhere. Jessica's texts got more frequent and frantic. The ground's getting really soft. Mum's freaking out at the catering staff because people keep asking to use their van's bathroom. Then, it all fell apart. During their anniversary toast, the ground was so saturated that part of the deck area actually sank. Not dramatically, but enough to destabilize the buffet table. Their anniversary cake ended up sliding right into the messy, sewage-soaked ground. That's when Brenda stepped into what she thought was just wet grass and sank ankle-deep in it. In her white dress, in front of her entire social circle. People started leaving pretty quickly after that. Not in a panic, but with that awkward would you look at the time energy? The smell had become impossible to ignore, and the wet, dark spots in the yard were spreading rapidly. This is where things got ugly. Brenda completely lost it. She started screaming that I'd deliberately sabotaged her party, that I'd planned this whole thing. She was calling people from her phone right there in the yard, frantically trying to find a lawyer who would take her call on a Saturday, all while standing there in her ruined dress, mascara running down her face. Dad's reaction wasn't the calm disappointment I expected. He was furious, both at me and Brenda. He started yelling about how much this was going to cost to fix, how irresponsible everyone was being. He kept switching between being angry about the septic system failing and demanding to know why Brenda had planned such a big party without checking about maintenance issues first. Jessica recorded some of it on her phone. Brenda screaming about lawsuits and defamation. Dad yelling about property damage. Guests quickly backing out of the driveway. It was chaos. I've gotten about 30 texts from Brenda since yesterday. They range from legal threats to guilt trips to straight-up rage. You planned this. My lawyer will hear about this. You've ruined everything. Just like your mother. Always having to be the victim. Dad's been calling non-stop too. He's not as philosophical as before, mostly concerned about the cost of the repair and saying things like, I don't even know whose side I'm supposed to be on here. And you're both acting like children. He's sleeping at his brother's house because, apparently, Brenda is still too upset to even look at him for not immediately taking her side. The damage is real, though. The yard's a mess. The downstairs carpet is ruined from tracking water, and the septic system obviously needs replacing. Mark sent an estimate. It's significant. Brenda has already posted in our neighborhood Facebook group asking for recommendations for lawyers who handle property damage and intentional emotional distress cases. Jessica's been sending updates all day. Apparently, Brenda has called every friend she has, telling them I deliberately sabotaged her party out of jealousy. She's already had 3 different contractors out to document the damage for potential legal action. I finally blocked Brenda's number after her last message. You think you're so clever? Just wait. That beach house won't be yours for long once I'm done with the lawyers. Hope it was worth it. Last update. It's been about a month since the septic tank disaster at my beach house. I wasn't planning to post another update, but enough has happened that I wanted to share how things actually played out. The immediate aftermath was exactly what you'd expect. Brenda contacted 3 different lawyers, but it fizzled out pretty quickly once they saw Mark's documented warnings about the septic system. Turns out, negligent property owner claims don't go very far when you plan a 35-person event without asking basic maintenance questions beforehand. The repair costs were brutal. About $21, zero for the new septic system, plus another $3,000 for yard repair and carpet replacement downstairs. Insurance covered part of it after my deductible, but it's still a huge hit to my savings. Dad offered to split the costs, which led to a massive argument between him and Brenda. They're still arguing about it. Brenda's not speaking to me. Obviously, she's switched to communicating through passive-aggressive Facebook posts about toxic family members and property damage. Dad's trying to play peacekeeper, which is going about as well as you'd expect. He'll call me to talk about repairs or costs, then get quiet when I bring up the dress incident last week. He just sighed and said, I know you both did wrong things. Can't we just move past it? Classic Dad. Avoiding conflict while trying to keep everyone happy. Jessica's been caught in the middle. She stays with me some weekends, but Brenda started making comments about family loyalty. So now Jessica's walking on eggshells. She deleted the videos she took at the party after Brenda went through her phone while she was sleeping. The beach house repairs are finally done. The new septic system works fine. The yard's been restored, and the carpet's been replaced. The cleanup company did a good job. You wouldn't know there had been a disaster if you didn't know where to look. Here's the weird part. This whole thing has had ripple effects I didn't expect. My Aunt Carol isn't speaking to Dad because he wouldn't take a side. 2 of my cousins cancelled their usual beach week booking because they don't want to get involved in the family drama. Family events are awkward now, with everyone trying to schedule around who's not speaking to whom. Brenda's still living at home. but she's been taking space to heal by spending weekends at her sister's house. She's talking about wanting to move to a bigger house anyway, saying the current one has too many negative memories now. Dad just looks tired whenever it comes up. The dress is still hanging in my closet. I tried having it professionally restored, but they said the wind damage is permanent. I've started looking at new wedding dress styles online. It's not the same, but I'm trying to focus on the future instead of what I lost. Jessica told me yesterday that Brenda's been checking property listings for beach houses in a different area. Apparently, she's determined to have a do-over anniversary celebration next year. Just ... without certain people involved. Dad stopped by last weekend to check on the repairs. He walked around the yard, looking at everything, and just said, "Your mum would hate what this house has done to the family." Not exactly the profound moment of realization I think some people were expecting. The reality is, there's no dramatic conclusion here. No one's getting divorced. No one's had an epic revelation. And the family's not suddenly united in understanding. It's just ... tense holidays ahead, and carefully planned scheduling to avoid awkward encounters. Edit. To those asking about legal consequences, the lawyers basically said everyone should drop it and move on. No one has a strong case either way, especially given the circumstances. Edit 2. Yes, I'm still planning to get married at the beach house. Brenda's already said she won't attend if I do. Dad's stressed about it. But ... that's a problem for future me.